Here's our unit, our old ream, rud, whatever you want to call it, unit 10's here. I'm going to take her apart and get the refrigerant out of her so we can get started replacing the dryer and the accumulator. I got my recovery gauges down there, my Z Manifold Ultra 2.0 4000 mega gauges. Some new hoses, little 3-foot long hoses. Give a shout out to Mr. Billy Knopf who sent me this strap, which I use to hang up this manifold. That's working fantastic. I really appreciate that, Billy. I'm recovering the refrigerant here now, and when I get done, I'll start taking apart the system and getting new components put in. Down at our accumulator now. I'm going to take it out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it out and remove it. We'll sweat those pieces off of it. So I'm going to add an extra piece onto it to put the oil in near the compressor. And add some POE oil so we can use 407 and C. We'll end up taking these wires out of the way here in a minute, but we won't need to just yet, so we'll cut it off. This is where I'm going to add a little extra port. I can introduce some oil, it'll be right there in that U-bend before the compressor, so it'll get drawn right into the compressor when we start it up. Straight off to the side a little bit. I can either reuse these U-bends after I sweat them out, or I can build some new ones. I'll decide here in a second. I'll probably reuse them. Like most of these things, kind of rough. As you can see, the bottom is covered in oil where it's been leaking. Doesn't look too good. Looks like a reindeer. We're going to seal up these copper fittings real quick so it doesn't get anything in the lines. Then I'll move on to sort of getting our new one ready to go in.
Socked up doing these, the shades are cocked up on her head, searching off onto the bed. Daddy says we'll stay up late. He looks at me with signs of hate, like I stole his little girl, pushed her through my dirty little world. With my car around the block 6 times, I go too fast to say goodbye. She waved at me through the glass. I turned the radio off to make it last.
Alright guys, we have this sweated off.
Kinda hard, yeah. It's getting kinda hard.
Let them cool off a little bit. Using my ream rud vise here to hold the accumulator in place. Those are sweated off so I can put them on the new accumulator after I fit in a access port. As long as I have one. We'll see what happens. Accumulator sitting in place. I have my 2 stubs here. I'm going to connect up, just making sure that you see here we have a inlet, which is going into the accumulator from the system, and an outlet which goes toward the compressor. Our mounting stuff at the bottom is typically in the same shape they usually are, non-existent and rusted out. So it'll be resting in that hole. Maybe put a little bit of a vibration pad underneath it and thread it through the vibration pad. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Guys, this is our vibration pad here. I'll take the top off of it, a little rubber section. Cut a few slits in the bottom of it so it fits underneath the accumulator with the threads into it, so it won't rub against the chassis of the unit. So I'm going to fit that up right now, put it back down there so I can start piecing it back together. The vibration pad cut through, kind of loosely fitting. I'll stick that stub through, make sure it fits down there into its hole, and piece it back up so we'll have no vibration causing leaks on the bottom of that accumulator in the future, and protect it a little bit from the elements by getting it off the floor of the unit a little bit. Looks like I got an accumulator that has a dented piece right there. That's unfortunate, so I'm going to use the Hillmore Swager and I'll put a couple tips on it. I got a 5/8 and a 3/4. I can expand that back out and we can fit things back together. God bless the Hillmore. Okay guys, here's our accumulator. We have it fitted up. We have our access point here on the suction line heading back to the compressor here. We have our coupling going into the accumulator. We'll go ahead and braze this up. Didn't get it seated down, most about a 1/2 inch down there. Could get a little bit more out of it maybe, but it's far enough down there where it'll be just fine. We'll melt that solder off too, and it'll run right down in there into that joint and seal it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and start brazing it up, protecting these wires over here, then we can move on to the dryer.
My mind is crowded, the road is gone, the engine is humming with the falling rain. Inside my thoughts are rolling, such sad ecstasy is showing. I was at your door, the wind was shifting, tossing your hair, it opens my mind. The lights of the evening are faded. A loneliness has been created. Deep within the night, I will chase an image of light on your upturned face. Words settle slowly, the night slips on, all is silent from the daylight gone. Deep within the night, I will chase
smell the phosgene in the air. Get whatever angle you can. Should be good. The biggest problem is going to be if I gotta get down here. I just have to take those